Hello once again everyone, Brett back, Altitude Scale Models with another sprue review. This time we're going to look at this big old fat kit. HE111Z-1 Zwilling, World War II German glider tug. So it's basically an HE111 with an engine in the middle and the wings attached. If the pilots got mad at each other and decided to turn opposite directions, would they rip the plane apart? Or was only one plane have controls? I don't know. Probably won't be answered here either. So, beautiful box art. Huge box. Kit number 48260. A little bit about the aircraft. Sorry for the glare. And this side, there's only one version. This is just both sides of it. Box has not been opened yet. See if this, usually ICM boxes give me problems when I try to open them. You see boxes kind of squished a little bit. But it is a big heavy box. So, take the top part off if it'll let me. I missed a couple. There's actually one on this side too. Alright. Look at there. This has two boxes in it. Box 1 contains one HE111 in a bag. What do you want to bet is in box 2? One HE111 with the extra wing spars. Let's start here, because we know there's going to be a lot of duplicate sprues. So this box has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sprues in this bag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sprues and clear parts in this bag. And instructions. Tightly packed, so there should be much movement and much chance of damage. Set these here, start here with the center wing section. So it looks like this box is entirely dedicated to the center wing section, the engines, the landing gear. Here is the center wing section with, if you built or seen any of ICM's HE111 kits, you know how nice they are. Doesn't have workable flaps, but I'm sure there's going to be a PE set for that somewhere down the line. You do have your beautiful, nice spars, and I'm guessing these are fuel tanks. I don't believe it carried bombs, but you can see very nice, lovely riveting detail, panel line detail. Oh, the ejector pin marks under here seem flush, maybe a little bit that we need sanding out. Spar, good and sturdy. You know you're going to need a lot of spar to hold this beast together. I didn't look to see how long it says it is. The real one, but not the kit one. Okay, anyway, there's going to be a lot of weight in the center section on the ends of the wings. There's that one. And the inside engine nacelles, more wing spars. Look at the lovely riveting detail right along there. I'd love to say I'm going to build this sometime soon, but sometime in my lifetime I will build it. I'm hoping someone out there builds it and does a nice video build. I'd love to see a 48 scale tug with this, but we know that would be even bigger. So that's probably not going to happen. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matching sprues with engine detail, bomb bay detail, bombs, props. I'm assuming these sprues, Sprue C, if I say, are from all the other HE111 kits. Guns, exhaust. So, if you've seen a review of another HE111 kit, you've probably seen these sprues already. But let's get some of those shadows away. There we go. My lights are all adjustable because I move them closer and farther away when I'm building because my eyesight's getting poor. Beautifully detailed engines. If you have it sitting on the ground, you can have some of these engine compartments open. As you can see by the sprue here, some of these side panels come off. And there are some ejector pin marks inside these bomb bays. The engine mounts look really finely detailed. Guns do not have open ends on them, but there's no real burring. I was looking at the engine mount parts here. There's no burring on those. They look really good. Same with the guns. No burring. They look really good. I mean, they may be a little bent down, but that's from being in the bag. Like I said, there's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because there are 5 engines. So you got 5 engine sprues. So that's it for the first big bag. Small bag in this first box. There's the clear parts, which are fortunately bagged separately. And then 2, 4, 6, 7 sprues. These 2 are matching. These part of the underneath. So I'm guessing these go under the engines or under the wings or under each fuselage. We'll have to check it out in the directions. But like I said, 2 of those, again, nicely detailed. Quality ICM product. And then 5 of these with wheels, no weight on wheels, bombs, and props. Which makes sense, there's 5 props. These props are different from the 5 props in the other one, so I'm guessing these actually go with this particular variant. You would need bigger props of that, I'm sure. 5 of those. Hold on just a second. Gotta answer somebody back. Uh-oh, gonna sneeze. Allergy season. Alright, and clear parts. ICM's clear parts have always been really good. And I don't think these will be an exception. Good clear, good framing, so you can mask them without a mask set, although I'd get one. Just because for me it's quicker than taping and cutting across. For some people they're quicker cutting and taping. But as you can see, very clear, very little distortion except in the extreme curved areas. Good looking clear. It's not overly thick. I don't know about scale thickness, but it's not overly thick. It's going to look good. Let me put the clear parts back in the bag. I don't need them damaged. Okay, that's everything in box 1 except the instructions, and we'll hold off on those. Box 2, one big bag of parts, one little bag of parts with more clear parts. Again, we'll start with the big one. I'm assuming this is going to be 2 regular HE111s. So let's start with fuselages. 2 matching fuselage sprues, of course, because there are 2 fuselages. So we'll look at one. No rivet detail, you have to add that in yourself. Bombay open, Bombay closed. So those other parts in the other kit were Bombay with mounting racks on them. Some bulkheads, radios, a little bit of interior detail. Ejector pin mark there, but the clear part's going to go over that. But none throughout the rest of this. Very nice touch. Very nice clean plastic. Ejector pin marks in here, but you're not going to see the inside of that anyway. Good accurate looking shape. I'm not an HE111 expert. I'm not an expert on practically anything. But when it's done, it's going to look like an HE111 to me. I want to see someone in the Luftwaffe SIG in the UK build this. That would be great. There we go. Here's the other side. You can see no real ejector pin marks anywhere. Good detail. You have to cut this off. A little cleanup, but no big deal. So 2 of those. Let's go like this, and then 2 outer wing sections. Obviously, you're going to have the outer wings, but you're not going to have the inner wings, because the inner wing was that other one I showed you that connects in the middle with the 3 engines. So, matching ones of these. This does have rivet detail on it, a really fine rivet detail. Not every panel, but quite a few. On the bottom mainly. Maybe that's how it was. Good looking fabric covered control surfaces. You can see the way they're tensioned on them. So your ailerons are movable. Your flaps are posable, I mean. Your flaps are not. But hopefully you can see not really fine riveting detail on there. All throughout that. Excellent excess hatch detail. And there's your fabric covered with the stressed fabric on there. Your ailerons, your rudders. And your ejector pin marks are all recessed. You may want to just run a sander across them. But because this edge is here and these are way down here, it may only be a problem on this part and this part here. Test fit everything, always. So, 2 of these, which don't line up. And then 2 of these, which is your engine compartment detail, your tail wheel, your spars for your inside of your wings. I'm not sure if you can use these or the other ones in the other set. your floors for your cockpit and your bomb bay. Really nice gear detail for that bottom turret. Seat, 2 different tail wheels. I'm guessing one retracted, one fully down. This is nice. No ejector pins on either side of that. This is your cockpit floor and one of your other floors. Inside panels. Actually some good detail inside these panels. Actually this is just the other half of that wheel. I mistakenly assumed these were molded whole, but this is just the other half of that one. So there you go. So, starting here, see that beautiful gearing detail for that turret. And on your wheel, no burring on the struts, so it looks good. Nice crisply molded detail, panel lines, no flash. Like I said, some of these parts here, no ejector pin marks on either side, same here. No ejector pin marks on either side. Here's what I was talking about, detail inside of here and here. So 2 of those matching. This bag one, 2, 3 bags of clear parts. We have 2 matching. I'm thinking those are the rudders. They look different. You can see the differences between the 2. Okay. So, these are not the rudders, these are for the elevators. This is a rudder. These are the horizontal stabilizers, elevators, whatever you want to call them. Again with nice detail throughout. Posable. These are detail parts for your engine, your control yoke. Like your bomb sight. Very finely detailed stuff for your landing gear struts with no burring. I don't know how you can see that, but there is no burring on those. How finely detailed all those are. Be careful cutting these off. Use your best pair of cutters. Don't cut too close or you'll snap them. So, there's 2 of those matching. And then we've got multitudes of clear parts. I say I didn't see an instrument panel, but there is one in here. More of the same as the other one, except with some few different parts. There's your instrument panel. I'm sure decals are going to go with it. Or you can just go into the Edward sets for the kits. I'm sure there'll be one specific for this any moment now. So I boot that. Yes, I make fun of my Canadian friends. These are matching. Ooh, that's really clear. Look how beautifully clear that is. That's so clear you can see my fingerprints right through it. Nice. Nice baby. Alright. All the sprues. Now, instructions. This should be interesting. So, there's your color callouts, Revell and Tamiya colors. Some safety instructions. cautions, little bits about the airplane, and I'm assuming that's Ukrainian or Russian and English. Decals are right here. Sprue maps, 2 of A, 2 of B. You're not using the shaded parts. So two of these, which we saw separate. Looks like like I said, the small props that are on the engine ones we're not using. We're not using a lot of these parts. Because, as I said, I didn't think it did bombing runs. We're not using these spars. Apparently we're not using this tail wheel. 2 of those. 2 of the clear parts. Not using the bombs. Not using this bomb bay closure. We're using this one. There's the tail wheel you will use, which isn't actually a wheel. It's just like a skid type thing. Okay. And we are using the bigger props. These are all the center wing parts. Obviously you're using all of those. And you start assembly with starting to put that one spar together with bulkheads. And a support section, which probably also doubles. Well, it can't really double his landing gear. Maybe it's just support. Maybe it does double his landing gear. Let's find out. So you've got your first wing spar together. Then you can do the same thing for the other side, obviously. Because this is for one fuselage. This is for the other fuselage. Duh. These parts are, the narrower parts are for the center wings, and it's longer. Because if you remember, these spars are longer on one side than spars that normally come with the HE-111. So they did take into account that there's going to be extra weight on the outer part of the wings. Good thinking on their part. Here's for one of the turrets going into the, because you're adding pieces, fuselage pieces, to the back of each one. Then you're working on the cockpit. Pilot. It's going on the front of this one. This one, this one. Maybe only one fuselage gets built completely up, and that answers my question as to if there are 2 pilots, who wins the argument. Because it looks like we're only building up a fuselage section for one. There's your landing gear, some guns. You're putting all the stuff into the one half of the fuselage. Then this is the wing spar with all that part you built up going in. Putting all that in, windows and everything. Putting those 2 halves together. So that's one fuselage section done. Well, not quite. Because you're putting on doors, bulkheads, the top turret. Your control surfaces, closing up that bomb bay, putting all the windows and everything in. Left fuselage half done. It says repeat for right fuselage half. Repeat for right fuselage half. Everywhere it says repeat for right fuselage half. So go back. Go back again. Yes, so all this is on both sides, so that doesn't answer my question about if 2 pilots get angry with one another. So you do all this, and you do it all again. Okay? So you've got a right fuselage half complete. Going through there. Here you go. Bottom wing, bottom section, bottom wing, into the spars. Working on the engines. Okay. Engine work, 5 engines going in. Still, you've only got the bottom wings in place, so you're going to have to rig some sort of jig or something to hold these wings and hold this whole thing, and you have to big workbench. Big workbench. Because this is all going together. And I don't see why you can't do them separate, in the middle separate, then put it together. Because you're turning it over here, so this is upside down now. And you're putting in these parts while it's upside down. I'm still thinking I'd rather not put it together before I did all this. Then you're putting the engine sides on, the engine tops on, right here. So you're starting to put the tops of the wings on. That's when you have to put the whole thing together. Now my airbrush booth isn't big enough for this. So I'm going to have to paint it in sections anyway. So if I can put one together, put it together, and then put this together. Somebody build this and show me. You're putting all your top end parts of your engine on, your exhaust shrouds are going on, covers are going on, so you got different sections that you can leave off. If you want to display it on the ground in a maintenance scene, which is going to be a big diorama. The other sides of the engine parts going on, all your guns going on, your clear parts, which a lot of these you'll be masked up. Some of these you won't even have to do till the end because your gun's sticking out could be an issue. Fortunately, your landing gear can go on at the end, so it won't break off when you're trying to, if you do put it together and try to paint it all as one. So there's all your landing gear parts. You know, if you built an HE111 before, they're pretty intricate. You've got fuel tanks underneath, which is what's over the bomb bays. You've got your landing gear doors. You got your final glass placement for the upper turret, which isn't really a turret, it's just a machine gun placement. That's what it looks like when it's done. There is your color call out. The one on the front is obviously in winter camo. There it is with winter camo, so it does have two schemes. Eastern front in the winter time, eastern front in the springtime. So you just paint it up and put the winter camo on, because you don't want to fade it out because it was never perfect. There you have it. Wow. So which one of you fine modelers, oh, I almost forgot something, decals, this obnoxious blue that ICM uses. Really nice looking decals though. No swastika, so you have to source those from another place. Got your instrument panel decals. You see there's not a lot of carrier film. As far as I've ever used, ICM decals work really well. There's a lot of carrier film between all these letters though, so be ready to use a good setting solution. We'll paint some of them on if you want. So there's the decals. So anyway, as I was saying, one of you fine modelers, build this, take some pictures, show me how you did it, so we can pass it along. Thanks for watching. Sit your ass in the chair. Tell me how many of you are actually going to buy and build one of these, because it is a pretty niche thing, and it's going to be huge. A wall hanger or an in-flight. I'd almost be afraid to put it in flight because of the weight. The spars are long, but that's still a lot of weight. Anyway, thanks for watching.